Here I am starting on my trip to the 2-hour drive to R&M Paintball. Now, normally I'd have the windows open and be driving along, and I was worried about the sound.
Drive 1.3 miles, then turn left.
About the sound. You're going to have the GPS talk over me sometimes, but I was worried about the temperature and having the windows down and the noise that it was going to have for the camera. And leaving this early, it's only 56 degrees, it's a little brisk out, and the sun is just coming up, so I'm not really going to worry about it too much. You can see the sun on my face. So what I want to talk about today on this long vlog is, my head's blocking up, long trips. When you have a long trip to go on to an airsoft field, in this case, this is 2 hours, and normally an hour, even an hour and a half by myself is not a problem. Once you get to the 2 hour, 2.5 hour spot of driving, and it becomes a little interesting. It's not bad in the morning when you're going to the game, depending on when you gotta leave. If you have a game that starts at 8, and that means you have to leave the house at like 5:30 to get there for 8 o'clock. It's one of those things that you want to make sure that like you have the right mindset when you're going. I like to keep busy on these long trips. One of the things I do is I go over things that I'm doing on some of my repairs I'm doing for people. Matter of fact, in the
0.2 miles, turn left, then turn right.
According to, like, I already have a couple of rifles and stuff that I've repaired for people that I'm bringing with me to give them, and they're going to pay me at the game.
Turn
so
left, then turn right.
this is going to be annoying throughout the video, so just be prepared for the girl telling me to turn and not turn and whatever. So I should have like turned her
right
off till I get up there, but going is a lot easier because you get you've got all that adrenaline that you're getting to a game, it's gonna be fun. Even that I've been doing it for over 10 years, I still get that morning, gonna go play airsoft. So I still have that excitement the night before prep and things like that. Coming home after like an 8 or 10 hour game or something like that, you're tired, you're like worn out, might be sore, might be hurting. It gets a little intense on a long trek. Having a buddy with you, and these are some of the things I should say I recommend when you're going on a long trip. One, have a buddy with you, or 2 or 3. Go with a group, whatever. But at least one other person to help you pass the time. And someone that's a conversationalist. I mean, somebody that's going to talk back and forth with you and verbally banter with you all the way up. I went with 2 gentlemen the one time. Guy going up was sleeping in the back. Guy on this side put his earphones in and he's staring out the window. And I'm like, okay. And that was for a 2.5 hour drive. I would talk to him and he'd look over at me and nod his head, and that was it. On the way back, they switched seats, and they were both sleeping on the way back. And I said, that was it. That was the last time I was taking them with me. They just chilled out, and then I'm left to be looking under my eyelids at like after 2.5 hours of driving, because I pushed all day just before it hurt my leg, and I was really tired. So having a buddy that's going to keep you awake and alert as you're coming home is good. After airsoft, there's always the after action report, basically, that you're going to have banter with your friends. So if you get a good guy that wants to discuss stuff like that, ooh, deer on the road. Get off the road, honey. Don't get on the road. Oh, no, no, no. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 little ones. Wow, that's a lot of little ones. I will tell when things are on the road there through the video, so just in case you guys are wondering. I would say that, you know, having the buddy is very important. 2, start the day out right, okay? And when I say start the day out right, means I've had friends that like left the house, nothing to eat, didn't have any coffee, water, whatever, and they left the house like that, and they're starting out on a low energy mode. Me this morning, as an example, because I know that it's going to be off and on for getting a lunch break. You know, you're only going to have a certain amount of time for a lunch break, and people aren't going to drive anywhere because there's really nothing around the field. I bring snacks, water, things like that. So what I suggest is a good breakfast. Some people say, oh, I don't want to eat breakfast because I go and play airsoft and I throw up. I'm like, okay, that might be you, but I've got a 2-hour trek. So having a good breakfast,
3 miles, keep right.
In having a good breakfast in the morning is important. Never, now this is just me, I never drink orange juice in the morning because I have done that, got sick as a dog.
Keep right.
Yeah, okay. There's these little roads that just bear to the right or left, and she's like telling me to keep right. And if you have a good breakfast and you start off with some food in your stomach, you have a tendency to like get that energy when you hit the game on a long drive. Now, I've got 2 hours. It says I'm going to get there at 8:34. Okay, that's 2 hours from now. So I'm going to have 2 hours to digest that food that I had. So I'm going to start off with all that protein and stuff in my body and be able to move and get going. Not to mention I had this huge cup of coffee, big mug. What I'll do is when I get there too, is I will hydrate. I've been hydrating last night. It's not a big hot game today or whatever, and it's cool this morning, so it's not bad, 55 now. So I hydrated last night, a lot of fluids, but still, on a day, even when it's cool like this, you can lose some hydration, and you want to make sure you have plenty of hydration. But get back to the long trek. So having someone that'll talk to you, a partner, driving up, starting out with some good breakfast, that's important. And being mentally prepped for the day, that's also important. And people say, well, what do you mean? I was already thinking about the game the first part of the week. Monday, Tuesday, I was deciding what I was taking, what I was going to have. Thursday, I started like gathering stuff up around, make sure that everything's good. Friday afternoon late, after I got done with all my work, I started charging batteries, making sure everything was good. I had everything packed and ready to go Friday night.
6 miles, turn left, then keep right.
I had everything packed and ready to go. So when I got up this morning, the only thing I had to do was get dressed, go through a mental checklist of everything that I had, which I had also written out, and I got in the car, bang slam, Bob's your uncle, I'm going to the game. I don't have to worry that, did I pack this, did I pack that, because I packed it all the night before, and I went over it 2-3 times just to make sure that I had everything that I was going to have that day. So I'm going to make sure that, like, I have everything, because there's nothing worse than going to a game,
turn left, then keep right,
and then finding out, like, you don't have a battery, or you only have one battery, you need 2, or you only have like
Keep
one
right,
mag
then
and
turn right.
you needed 2, or you only brought 6 mags, you needed 10. Something silliness like that. And it's always the peripherals
Turn right.
that you'll forget. And like the second or third battery, like me, I have 4 batteries. Even though I'm not using the AEG today, now we're gonna have to go with the sunglasses because every once in a while, coming over the top of the rise, you hit the sun. So be prepared. So I have plenty of batteries, plenty of. I made sure I had a brand new propane tank, silicone oil, the whole 9 yards for my gas pistol. Even though I have an HBA pistol, I'm going to probably be using instead of the gas one. But I'm prepped, and I got it in the car, so now I don't have to worry about, oh, did I have it all? Do I have, like, what I need, this and that? So, I'm starting off the day, if I had a buddy with me, I'd be talking with him, had a good breakfast, and I'm mentally prepped for the day, and I would make sure he's got everything he needs. I would double check his batteries, double check that he has enough BBs and things like that. I'm going to be running a saw, so I have like tons of BBs. So those are 3 important things to do before you get on the trip. Okay, now what I also like to do is get a project in my mind. My last game that I went to up here, 2-hour drive, I went through and I went over a mental project. We're building a new structure out in the woods, and I'm like, okay, we have to get this, and I laid it out, and how I had to cut this, and how many 2x6s I needed, how many 2x4s I needed treated, and what I'm going to need for like people to come up and help me, and we got to get it together and that. And I built it in my mind. That took a lot of time to go over that. Kept me focused, and I was doing good. Now, I wouldn't have to do something like that if I had a partner in the car. If I had somebody driving with me in the car, I wouldn't have to worry about that. But because I didn't, I mentally made a project in my mind that would take me and focus me for the day. It helps to keep me active and doing good. One of the other things to remember is the trip home. You might be running off the anticipation of going to the game to start with, and if you have a buddy with you, and if you have a good breakfast and you're mentally prepped and physically prepped for the day, you've got that high going to the game, excitement, talking with a buddy. It's great. It's more important on the trip home to have that aspect as well. You have to have that group of that same mindset. Like, you have to get home. So having a buddy in the car is great, talking with you. I personally like to stop and get something to eat on the way home. Everything about Airsoft is talking about the day. So stopping
5 miles, keep left.
Stopping with somebody and having something to eat is awesome. So you can talk about your day and what's going on and things like that. But if you're in a situation where you're by yourself, it's important to stop and get something to eat and get some kind of beverage that's going to keep you awake. Whether it be coffee, some people don't like coffee, have tea, even a soda. Take something with you, get that caffeine in your system so that you've got that 2-hour plus drive to go. It's important. One other thing too to remember, which I always do for the ride home, whether I'm on a half-hour trip or an hour trip or a 2-hour trip or a 4-hour trip, is you want to have extra shoes and socks and maybe a shirt. Nothing makes a better trip home than being able to take off those big heavy boots you had on and the socks and put nice dry socks on and a different pair of shoes. I usually bring a pair of sneakers, a nice pair of socks, even a shirt, because sometimes my combat shirt or whatever I'm wearing is soaking wet or just messy from the day. And just changing the shoes, put new socks and shoes on, and getting a new shirt on for that drive home makes a world of difference. I've driven home from a 3-hour op, and I had actually changed my shoes out and then took my shoes off and drove with my bare feet. Because I knew I wasn't getting out of the car, I had a full tank of gas, I was good to go, but it makes a difference. You want to be comfortable on your way home. Like, to be sitting with wet shoes on or like muddy shoes on or that you've had on for 8-10 hours and a shirt that's all like wet and sweaty, not really conducive. But if you have a pair of shoes that are dry with a brand new pair of socks and another shirt, and you get in there, and even on sometimes, like if I knew it was going to be wet and stuff like that, I brought a towel and I brought an extra pair of pants or an extra pair of sweats to wear on the way home. So I totally would change. I'd just drop chow right there in the parking lot and change out. I didn't care. And it made quite a difference on the way home, especially on a long trek home. Like today, I've got a shirt. It's going to be nice all day, even into the night tomorrow. So I brought a shirt and my jacket, and I also bought my sneakers and a brand new pair of socks. So I am prepped for my ride home. And because I'm vlogging to the game, I might vlog on the way home, just so that like you can see the difference night and day here of me going. I'm not gonna like talk about this all the way going to the game, but want to just touch on a couple of points. If you do have somebody with you, you're golden, because talking back and forth, the excitement of after the game will be good. As long as he doesn't just close his eyes and fall asleep on the side of the window, you're good to go. But if he's like talking with you and you're communicating, you'll keep active, and the ride home will be nothing flat. Stopping and getting something to eat, it's another good thing. Change of clothes. So going to and coming from the game, important aspects to have. Now, this takes on, like I said, a whole different aspect when you're by yourself. And like still change of clothes, but stopping something, get something to eat, get some coffee, things like that. Keep your mind active as well. Go over maybe what you have to repair. During the game, maybe you broke something on a gun. I always have 2 with me anyway, maybe even 3. If you see something broken on the gun, you then can like think about what you got to do to fix it, or what you got to do to repair a small problem that occurred with the gun. And it's still functioning, but you have to still repair one thing. For me, I've got both the guns that I'm going to primarily use if I use during the day, but I also got 2 other ones that I might hook up with. Also, like concentrating on, again, a project on the way home. Thinking about what I need to do at home, maybe a project around the house, or a project, an airsoft project, or something I need to build for the field, something like that. You know, it's important to keep your mind active as you're driving, and that will keep you from like dozing off when you're driving, which is one of the biggest things that I found when I was by myself with the 2 guys for a 2.5-hour drive. Nobody talking to me, they're sleeping in the back, the car is just droning on as we're going, and I could fall asleep. I found myself doing mental exercises and trying to keep myself awake. And at one point, and it was not exactly warm, so you had to have the heat on for the guys. I turned the heat down, opened the window up. That woke them up, but I said, I need to keep awake here. And I think the guy talked to me for like a minute or two, and then he dozed off again. Put his jacket up more around his face and fell asleep again. So, mentally preparing for the game, mentally preparing after the game to keep yourself going on the long trek is tough. I know guys that drive 2.5 hours, 3 hours to games who say, oh, I do it all the time. And I've done this trek 3 times so far by myself because people don't seem to want to drive this long distance. They don't want to come if I'm not driving. And that annoys me too. But anyway, digress. One other thing I like to do when I'm going to a game by myself over a great distance, I bring a table, a tent. If I'm by myself and I don't know anybody else that's going to be there, I bring a small tent. I got like a 9-footer, and I bring a 6-foot table, and I bring a chair, so that I can set up the table and the tent and the chair. I can set all those up by myself. I do it all the time. This way I know I have a place to sit, I have a place to keep out in the shade, and I have a place to put my gear off the ground if it's raining. I've gone to an event by myself, put up a tent, the small 9-foot tent, put my table up, put my chair up, put all my gear on it, only to come back and it was starting to rain, and like 20 people are trying to get under my, under my tent. I exaggerate, it's probably like 7 or 8. But a whole pile of people are trying to get under my tent. And I come back, there's somebody sitting in my chair, and I said, this is my tent, this is my table, that's my chair. I said, you guys can throw your gear underneath, but I said, I want half of the table for my stuff. And, the guys are grumbling and this and that. And I got the guy out of the chair, and I sat down. And 2 other guys brought their chairs over and started sitting underneath my tent. Well, it was the end of the day, and it's raining. So I started gathering all my stuff up. I gather all my gear up, go back to the car, put it away. And I come back to the area, grab the table, grab the chair, head that back to the car. And they're all sitting under my tent now. There's like 5-6 chairs underneath my tent. I come back and I said, guys, time to go. I'm taking the tent. Oh, this is your tent? Shocked, right? So I start undoing it, and they're still sitting underneath it. So I start lowering it. The guy's like, hey, we'll move. I'm like, and it's raining. It's physically raining pretty hard now. So by the time I got the tent apart, didn't put it back in the bag, got it all apart, just grabbed it under the arm, and away I go. This guy's been like on my bumper for a mile or 2, so he's passing now. Got the tent and took it and put it back in the car. So having a tent, a table, and a chair to sit. Now, if the area has tables and tents, tables and some kind of covering like R&M does and Zulu does, excuse me, just having a chair to make sure that you have a seat works for me. I've gone to games and there's been all kind of tables and stuff, but nowhere to sit. Guys are sitting on the ground, sitting on their gear bags, things like that. And like right now with the way my leg is, I don't want to try to sit on the ground and then try to get back up. So I get a chair that I can sit on and then get out of and go back and play. So having a table is very important. So I hope this little vlog on the way prep about going to a game and coming from a game helps a little bit. I accidentally hit off my cruise control, which is why we slowed down. I hope that helps a little bit if somebody's going to make a long trip. If you got other suggestions that you do when you're driving, got a large cup of coffee, you know, do a jolt, whatever, kind of like high energy drink, that, you know, that's awesome. Suggestions, anything like that in the comments, I'd appreciate it. I'm going to end this portion of the vlog on traveling back and forth, and I'm gonna talk about probably something else on another vlog here as we're going along. So it's still sort of like just getting dark, even though I got the sunglasses on. It's just the sun hasn't broken over the mountains yet, so hopefully it's gonna be a nice day, and I'm gonna have a great day at Airsoft, so you have one as well. Okay, here we are. We're heading home after our all-day op. It's like 4:30. Starting to get a little overcast. I'm tired, and I passed up 3 food places, which I'm kicking myself for right now. There was some really nice places to stop. That's what you got to do when you're coming home, like I said, and you're tired. You want to make sure you get some good food in you, get some caffeine, and then you're good to go for the rest of the trip home. I have my new shoes on, or I have shoes on, different shoes on, socks, and as you can tell, I have a different shirt on. So I feel a lot better sitting here. My feet are a lot better. I'm just a little hungry because all I had was the snacks for lunchtime. They were selling food, but I don't have that much money, so I said I only have money for sit down where I'm going to eat, and I want to do it a credit card. So what I want to do is find a place somewhere, but if you can see, I'm in the sticks. There is nothing here for quite a while. I passed a restaurant that was closed, and I passed a biker bar which had a bunch of bikes in it, but I don't think the food would be to my liking. Who knows? So just to follow up, a little tired, had a good day, a lot of welts, got a lot of kills, had a lot of fun. 4 of our teammates there, and another team that I always come out with was there. We had a really good time, so I'm hoping that, like, for the rest of the day, I can get home at a reasonable time, go get something to eat. Now I'm gonna have to wait till I get farther up the road here, unless I find something. I'm gonna have to wait until I actually get back home, another hour, and then find a place to eat. And then get home, take a nice hot shower, and just chill out for the rest of the day. And spend the next day taking all my gear apart, washing my clothes, going over the guns, and just doing an inventory on everything, making sure everything's good, and going from there. So, positive day, a lot of fun, a lot of good people, no drama. Excellent field to play at, R&M paintball field. If it wasn't a 2-hour drive, I'd be up here quite a bit. But a 2-hour drive is a little bit of a haul for me. So I can do it once in a while. I'm yawning. Do it once in a while, but not too often. So I hope you enjoyed these rambling videos that I did for this rambling vlog that I did on my trip up here. I've done a lot of different things, talked about a few things, and hope you found it interesting. As always, you guys have a good day and have fun playing Airsoft.